Let me ask you, the Mets fan, are you having fun yet? Because this team is the epitome of what it means to be a bad team. Enough. I've had enough of saying it's a bad stretch. It has been over 2 months now, Dan. And you know what drives me absolutely insane? It's it's never just one thing. You finally get a quality start out of Kodai Senga, and you knew it. You knew it. You knew it. The bullpen was going to tank this game. It doesn't matter who you get out there. Ryan Hellsley could get the hell off this team already. 5 appearances, Dan. He's given up 7 runs already. So let me repeat that. 5 appearances, the guy who throws 103, who gives a you-know-what right now that he throws hard because he can't throw strikes, and when he does, it's right down the middle. I feel like we've seen this story 1,000 times. Can Rodgers get an inherited runner, something he's supposed to do? Can Ryan Hellsley not break down in the 8th inning, for crying out loud? It's utter ridiculous. And another point I need to address, something that this coaching staff clearly refuses to touch. Juan Sodto, Mr. Untouchable on this team. Carlos Mendoza can never criticize him. We all knew the second Lindor beat out that ground ball in the 8th inning. You and I and everybody watching this stream knew it would be good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Juan Sotto. I've never seen a guy get paid so much money in my entire life and be so terrible with guys on base. For crying out loud, the best fans in this fan base are calling him Juan Solo because he finally yesterday hits a home run with somebody on base and everyone's celebrating it. That's how freaking bad he's been as a New York Met. Don't sell me OPS. He's hitting in the 240s for crying out loud, and he's hitting in the 220s or less with runners in scoring position. You made him the highest paid player in the history of the damn sport. Ohtani hits and he pitches, and this guy got way more money than he did. He's the first guy I'm holding accountable on this team. The starting pitching's been terrible the last 2 months. We all know that. But this is a game against an awful, and when I say awful, an awful Braves team. I don't want to hear the Braves have our number. It is total bullcrap. Once again, the entire game against horrible pitching, we scored 3 runs. And you knew the bullpen was going to give it up. Enough of saying it's a bad stretch, it's a bad week, it's a bad 2 weeks, it's a bad month, it's a bad 2 months. We're now going on 2.5 months where we had the 4th worst record in the whole sport. We're there with the Yankees, the White Sox, and the Angels. Simply unacceptable. And I am getting fed up. And you know what? The fans are showing out. Everybody showed up for the Pete Alonso jersey. I'm just so sick of it because what's going to happen, we all see it. The Reds are now a half a game, 0.5 from taking us over, and we are out of the playoffs. A team that had a over 5-game division lead just a couple months ago is going to probably be double digits out of the lead in just a couple weeks. You need monstrous changes to this team. You finally see Pete Alonso going to hit with a guy in runners in scoring position. Brandon Nimmo gets the sac fly. And here's another thing. And I'll end my rant. Can Juan Sotto learn to play right field? He successfully dekes Harris at second base. So instead of hitting the cutoff guy, what does he do? He airmails the cutoff man, throws it to second, allowing the go-ahead run to score. Like ABCs, and they addressed it on the broadcast. We've seen this 2, 3, 4 times this year. Throw the ball to the cutoff man. It's sickening. It's something you learn in Little League. This team is so mentally weak. It is an abomination. And yes, I am saying this. If the Mets miss the playoffs, you clean house outside of David Stearns, obviously. Mendoza gets fired. Hefner gets fired. Barnes gets fired. Every single person on the staff goes. You cannot be within 6 games of winning a World Series. Add Juan Sodto and all of this payroll and miss the playoffs. Especially, Dan, you go back when we had that monster division lead. We were like 9 games up in the playoffs. That'd be disastrous. And there's no positives in sight. Who do you trust in this bullpen right now outside of Edwin Diaz? Literally nobody.
Tyler Rogers, probably it.
Yeah, okay. One guy. Right. You got rid of 8 or 9 prospects at the deadline to improve this bullpen, and you got one guy you could trust who can't get strikeouts, who's a pitch to contact guy. Right now, Hellsley's another monster swing and a miss by David Stearns. Him, Frankie Montas, and let's be honest, he clearly had bigger expectations than we did for Clay Holmes, if we're being real, because they continue to trot him out there knowing he is completely gassed. That's a swing and a miss. You had to have supplementary options. You can't go and get a Hellsley. You can't go and get a Frankie Montas and not have plans A, B, and C. We're going to these young kids now. Now, we're all going to clamor. I understand if McClain has a good outing on Saturday, but you trust him to go 5 in this bullpen to hold it right now? Give me a break. They're talking on it right now on the postgame. Ryan Hellsley this season, MLB ranks minimum 300 pitches. Opponent's batting average against his fastball, Dan, is 408. He is Ryan Stanek. His slider, they're hitting 102. He is, ready? Not third to last, fourth to last. He is the worst ranked pitcher in all of baseball against his fastball. Who cares that it's 103? He is worse than Ryan Stanek with his fastball. And we gave up a boatload to get him and get these guys. Baez is very highly sought after. The kid that we gave up, Jesus Baez. Probably going to be a top 100 by next season. It drives me nuts. Who's going to take the fall? I'm asking you, Dan, is Carlos Mendoza going to come out and criticize his position players? We can't score 3 runs against an abysmal Braves team. We got to do something outside of the beginning of the game. It just blows my mind.
Wow, yeah. First things first, the Hellsley stuff, you're right. The slider has been his kryptonite. He has been struggling with that all year. Ron Darling made a note of it. Keith Hernandez talked about it. He said most times you watch highlight tapes of guys in the morning, baseball clips from the night before. Yep. Usually the balls that are being given up are hanging breaking balls, and we saw that tonight. Senga just not competitive. I get he gave you 5 1/3. You know, he did what he had to do, but still not to the back of the baseball card for Senga. And people are tired of hearing that comment from anyone in the business, right? Oh, these guys need to play to the back of their baseball cards. Well, we've been saying that for months. You're right. This team has been struggling. It starts with the core 4 that we always bring up all the time. These guys need to start hitting. It's nice when a guy like Nimmo does it. It's nice when a guy like Pete does it. But, you know, there's still struggles from a guy like Sodto. Lindor tonight with the home run was great to see. You know, you hope that he unlocks himself because he's unbelievable when he gets going. But again, you know, it's not always consistent with this team, and that's been the problem. And I don't know what to really say, right? The season isn't over. That's number one. I know it feels like it is. You can't lose a series to the Braves at home. We all understand that. But it's still August 14th. You know, we still have a month and a half of baseball to go. I hate to be the guy that comes up here and says that, but Phillies lost tonight to the Nationals. That is a positive to take away. There's not many, but you also brought up Sodto, right? You've never seen a guy in your life make this much money, and you should have stopped there before you went to the production, because we've never seen anybody in our lives make this much money to play the game of baseball, to play any sport in general. And that comes with a certain responsibility, right? And I think that we all kind of realize that, hey, he's pressing. He's swinging for the moon. He had
Holy cow, yesterday above his head, Dan. What the hell was that?
It's unbelievable. And we can't get in the mind of Juan Sodto as much as we want to. But listen, a lot of it has to be the contract, you would think. That's a lot of money that a guy is taking. And at 90,000 in at bat, that is something that it's tough to wake up and live with sometimes if you have 1 for 4s or 0 for 4s. We get it. But again, this team needs to get going. We've said it for so long, and this team is so good. You look at last night, it's like, oh, wow, they finally start going. And even tonight, to an extent, you're starting to say, oh, they rallied back. Stolen bases. Hey, they set a club record tonight, 36 consecutive stolen bases. Nobody wants to hear these things, but these are things that I take away from these games, even if it loses, right? It's a gut punch. No one's sitting here and saying that, this is great for the New York Mets, but again, there's still time to go. And I just don't think this team has fully unlocked themselves. And it's crazy to say, but you really have to get it going across the board. And until that happens, you're not going to hear it from Mendy. You're not going to hear accountability. We've let that ship sail. That's just who Carlos Mendoza is. He was from the Boone School of Managing. He's not going to hold guys accountable. Certainly is never going to go after a Juan Sodto or a Lindor. We get that. But any of the position players, as you mentioned, I'll leave you with this before I pass it back. Someone in the comments, please give me a good move. Forget Sodto, right? You had to do that from a Mets perspective and where we were as a franchise. Give me one good move that Stearns has done this year. Siri gets hurt, he's a mess. Stanek comes in, he's a joke. Winker, haven't seen him this year. Barely. I mean, we could go down the list of names.
Montas, holy cow.
Well, right.
David Stearns could not wait. Oh my, he's like free agency. Bing, 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 bing. Ring the bell. He's like, Montas, my old buddy. I mean, Dan, we were hearing about Montas, how he did well with Milwaukee. He sucked with Milwaukee. Does anybody forget what we did to him in the postseason? We're just going to forget about that? He was terrible in the postseason. I keep hearing the excuse, well, he was good enough to start game 1 for Milwaukee. Who cares? We had freaking Jose Quintana throwing playoff games for us. Who cares? That doesn't mean anything. What this assembly, I don't know what it is, and we've been saying it forever. I say it on literally every single show. There's something screwed up in this clubhouse. And maybe the writers don't see it. Maybe it's behind the scenes. I don't know. But it's like, Dan, Juan Soto's hitting, 220 with runners in scoring position? Might be worse.
Right.
And it's not even just runners in scoring position. He doesn't hit a home run unless he's up by himself. It doesn't make sense. It literally, I'm trying to piece it together in my head. And another thing, how about we call out? Cedric Mullins was brought here because he's got a little bit better at bat, but it's supposed to be an upgrade in center field. What an awful angle he took on that double. He doesn't cut that down. That allows the run to score. Changes the game. You got to make the safe play there. It'd be second and third. And it wasn't even close. Even Hernandez was saying he knew right here he wasn't getting to it. Uh-oh, made a mistake. That can't happen at the major league level. We lose with the bad things. Soto throwing to the wrong bag. Mullins not cutting the ball off in center. Not hitting with runners in scoring position. I mean, finally, for the first time ever, it feels like we actually had a sack fly early on in the game with Brandon Nimmo, which was still a close play, but nonetheless, the guy was safe at home. But the small things we lack, and we've lacked it all year long. One thing that I've been screaming about on this team, we lack athleticism. I can't believe I'm even saying that, but we lack so much. It's like we've been talking about it. The willpower. Who's that guy right now? Who's the fiery guy in that clubhouse to stand up and say, I'm done standing for this crap? They tried the players only meeting and it completely backfired on them. Like completely. Did absolutely zero for this team. Like nothing's going to change. Literally nothing. What's our record now since June 13th? Somebody put it in the chat so I could bring it up if you could. I don't have it in front of me, but I am utter baffled. Get the hell Bell's shit, Dan. He doesn't deserve any of that. Enough of that. Have him come in to patty cake because that's all this guy knows what to do. Before Dan makes his next comment, guys, if you could give us a thumbs up on the video, it helps us so much. So I very much appreciate that, and sub if you're new here. But Dan, we'll make your point. We'll get to some of the people in the comments because I'm sure you guys feel like maybe you guys think I'm nuts. Maybe you think Ray rants too much. It's funny. I always get a chat or two. Ray, you always complain. You've been complaining for a month now. You've been complaining for 2 months. We have been terrible since June 13th. Terrible. Let me see if I could see if anybody's got it. Luke
30.
says 11 and 27. That can't make sense. 18 and 33. 2 and 13 over our last 15. That's a good highlight. Hey, Mendoza's up. I'm not playing this. I don't want to hear this garbage. I'll listen to all your talking, Dan. See if he says anything important.
Yeah, please. It's the mental mistakes, right? This is the big leagues. You got to have these things figured out. The Mullins route was atrocious. I agree. You got to let that ball bounce off the wall. That's the benefit to a Tyrone Taylor, right? He's in the game at that point. It's not even close. He knows how to play the carom, and the rest is history. It really is at the point where I look to leadership, right? And we've been saying this, people off season who have been with us, we were kind of clamoring for it and asking for it in terms of a JD Martinez, right? I'm not saying bring him back, but it's that type of guy that you need in the clubhouse. And Adam Ottavino, right? To cite another one. Like, these players lead by example. Not saying that Lindor doesn't, not saying he wasn't the MVP of last season and you could have put this C on his chest last year, no doubt about it. But thank God we didn't, right? Look how he's regressed. And it's unfortunate. I think this team really needs a leader, and I don't really know who that is at this point. It's not Mendy. He's supposed to be the leader of this whole group. I think a lot of them are just undermining a lot of what Mendy says, and not, willingly or deceivingly. They're not going out of their way and, plotting against Mendy behind closed doors. But I don't know if they really truly respect Mendy like we think they do. And if they're not respecting Mendy, then who are they respecting out of the players? If it's Lindor, well, it's tough to see on some nights, because the thing that bothers me, I love to smile, right? I think all of us do. It really helps in a bad situation. But if you're striking out and you're just like joking around with the catcher, as we've seen series after series after series, it's like, dude, like, there's a time to be positive and joking.
Or when the Braves hit the home run today, Dan, Juan Soto's joking it up with the bullpen. I'm like, what are you laughing at?
It's ridiculous. This team needs a leader.
You're at $90,000 in that bat. How about all the people that paid? I was this close to going to today's game. Well, let's quickly run through the stats of today. Lindor had a great game. 3 for 4, solo home run, 2 runs. Once again, Sodto 1 for 3, run, walk, and the biggest K of the day in the 8th inning. Nimmo 1 for 3, RBI K. Alonso 1 for 4. So, you look, you're 2, 3, and 4. You're 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Like, why is Cedric Mullins hitting 6th? That doesn't make any sense to me. But, bro, you look at this. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All had offers. McNeil 0 for 4K. Mullins 0 for 4K. Mauricio 0 for 3, 2Ks. Beatty 0 for 2, a K. Torrens 0 for 2. And then Marte 0 for 1.
And why are we not batting Beatty 9th anymore? This guy is a 217 WRC plus out of the 9-hole. And you're batting Torrens.
It literally makes 0 sense.
It really doesn't make sense at all.
But when you're looking at this, I can't believe. So you have 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the bottom 5 were 0 for 16 today with 2, 3, 4, 5 with 5 strikeouts. And then you look outside of Lindor, your entire team, you take Lindor by himself away again against a horrible Braves pitching staff. The Mets have 3 hits. They're 3 for 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 3 for 26 on the game outside of Lindor. $120 million in that top 5 if you take away the signing bonuses. Like, we could all scream at Mendy too. I don't know what he can do, but he's got to flip. He's sitting there. Bro, I'm looking at him in the post game right now. Talk about someone who looks defeated. He's sitting there like this. You know that blank stare people get when they're just like out of excuses. What am I going to say for this team? There's almost really nothing to say. Like, something's got... We're going to miss the playoffs, Dan. I know you keep saying we're in the playoffs. We are a half game out.
There's a good chance. There's a good chance if this team continues this way. Yeah, sure. We'll be sitting here and saying, oh, let's get ready for football because this team's not playing in October.
I cannot believe this. I'm actually like sitting here absolutely sick to my stomach right now.
It's bad.
I mean, I'm looking at this right now. The Mets in their last. Oh my gosh, I can't with this team. The Cubs now have a 4.5 game lead in the wild card. The Dodgers have a 4-game lead. We're right there. Cincinnati's a half game. St. Louis, who sold us their closer, is 3.5 games behind us now when they were completely dead and written off. The Diamondbacks, who sold their best player, by the way, who's terrible, Eugenio Suarez, who we're going to see this weekend, is hitting, I believe, 0.88 since being acquired. He's got 2 hits and like 33 at-bats. The Diamondbacks are 5 games back. The Giants are 5 games back. I mean, that's not completely incomprehensible to see these guys taking over. The New York Mets over their last 10 are 1-9. Cincinnati's 6-4. Seattle, St. Louis, is 5-5. If those teams go 500, they're going to run right by us at this point. They're going to run right by us. And this is another stat. I know a lot of people don't go up run differential. We're plus 32. The Reds are plus 51. Plus 51. Ready for this? New York Mets record against teams that are under 5, that are better than 500 now, are 26-27. So, and look who we're facing coming up.
Really good team.
Really good team. Seattle, who's very good coming into town, Dan. It's not just Seattle. You got Seattle, you got the lonely Washington, but then we're going to Atlanta, who we can't beat. And then we're going to face 3 against the Phillies. There's a chance we're looking up in 2 weeks and we're buried. I can't believe it. The New York Mets have lost 13 out of their last 15 games, and they're playing a Braves team that entered the series 17.5 games out of first place. Who's going to light the fire under this team? It's clearly not Mendoza. We've been waiting 2 months for it. And look, I understand from that perspective. People are going to say, well, you got to be, you can't be flipping chairs. You lose the locker room that way. It's veteran led. If anything, so the players got to be holding players accountable. Like they're showing the wild card standings right now. We're a half game up, Dan, and there's nothing in sight. Then I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? Okay, so we're playing Washington. You think we're going to sweep Washington? What confidence level do you have? We'll get to your final thoughts, Dan, on this, and then we'll get to a lot of your guys' comments. I mean, I see there's a ton of comments. So if you guys want to be guaranteed to get your comments read, become a member because I'm not going to get to everybody. Go ahead, Dan.
Confidence isn't high. Probably a 3 at this point in terms of anything. In terms of winning games, it's not high. They just keep finding ways to lose. Seattle's a really good team, throwing their 3 best pitchers. You have Castillo, Wu, and Kirby going up against the Mets. It is just the work's cut out for him, right? Excited to see Nolan McLean, but you're throwing him into the fire. I know he's high, great mental game, but again, like it doesn't even matter at this point. You just got to find ways. And I don't know if there's really many more ways to go. It seems like the only way they're going is down. And this is not good. I feel the frustration of everybody in here tonight. And we're just as frustrated as you. Like we might not show it sometimes. I know Ray does more than me, but listen, like it's very frustrating. But again, you try to strip away the emotion as best you can, but you strip away the emotion and the Mets are not playing well. That's the bottom line.
Oh man, I'm starring some of your guys' comments. The ones that I'm going to get to, some of them. It's like, it's just, unbelievable. Again, guys, if you could just leave us a thumbs up, consider subscribing if it's your first time here. We'll start it off with Alan. Alan, I'd rather get a root canal than keep watching this embarrassment. You know what? We will be watching. We will. Richard, ready to be challenged. LOL. Yeah, I feel like we've been getting challenged for the last 2 months. Andre says there's something fractured in this clubhouse. We've been saying it since April, Dan. Something's off. Something is just clearly off.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't know what it is. I'm not going to pretend to know what it is, but
Keith made a comment tonight. I mean, take it for what it is. I do trust what he's saying. He's around the team. To what extent, I don't know. But he said this is a tight-knit group. Like, this isn't something he thinks is like a chemistry issue. But again, that could be something behind closed doors. We never know. Why did Sodto never congratulate Pete on his big night? I didn't see one clip, one TV thing on SNY watching it. I don't understand that. But maybe it probably gave him a hug in the dugout or whatever. But, man, I don't know.
Well, I also don't know. Look, Keith's one of the guys who typically keeps it honest with us as fans. I don't know if he's going to speak bad about that. Frank says, it's true, Ray. This is a bad baseball club. That's what I'm saying. I'm done saying it's a streak, it's a phase, it's this, it's that. We just suck. It is what it is. A lot of overrated talent on this team. I mean, you go up and down. We keep hearing about the Fab Four. The Fab Four generates, on average, 1 run max a game. Soto's swinging for the fence. Pete's been the only model of consistency. Yeah, Lindor went 3 for 4 today, but he's had a terrible month plus. Nimmo hasn't been that good. Let's be real. Just had a crazy streak. He's striking out 50% of the time. It doesn't make sense.
Yep. Clean house. If this team misses the playoffs, you have to fire a lot of people, trade a lot of players, and we can't keep excusing Stearns. That's what I get on Mets fans about. It's like, this guy isn't untouchable. He went to Harvard. Cool. It's not always the smartest guy in the room, and sometimes I think Stearns thinks he is, which might be his biggest downfall.
Yep. We'll get to a couple more. I want to keep this to under 30 minutes if I could, guys. We've been here with you the entire season. We've missed maybe 1 or 2 games here or there, and then when we're at games, we miss the games. I'm planning on going on Saturday. I can't believe I'm going to spend money on this team to go to the game.
Get to see McClain.
I got to see my guy Nolan McClain.
Yeah.
NF4 says, what a gutless garbage team. You have Lucas saying, turned on the Mets to root against them. Here comes the Cincy train. Clue follows it up. Garbage, disgusting. I agree with all you guys, man. Should have spent all that money on pitching instead of just one guy. I think Sodto was coming no matter what. That was Steve Cohen. He wanted him. Look, I think eventually it's going to pan out as well. But you got to develop some pitching here. And let's be honest, they're going to have to get some real pitching in this offseason, Dan. Like Sean Manaea being paid like an ace when we all know he's clearly not. And remember this. I got a lot of flack coming into this year. I said, I am not sold Sean Manaea could replicate what he did for us last year. The guy's 33 years old and finally puts it together and wants to be paid like an ace. To me, you're playing with fire. If I'm going to give somebody mega bucks the way that they gave Sean Manaea over 3 years, I got to see you do it at least 2-3 years. 1 year? Dan, 1 year you're going to pay a guy to be an ace? It's not like he's Zach Wheeler where he was throwing 100 miles an hour at the time, 27 years old. He's been in the league for forever. He's been on 100 teams. I don't know, man. Maybe you think different.
Nope. No, you need pitching. It's going to cost a lot, but you'll need pitching, definitely.
We're going to finish it off with JC. I lost your comment, but he says, I have zero confidence in the remainder of this season. Dan, final thoughts.
I want to very quickly address that stuff. Heyman had a report today. The Mets interested potentially in Cody Bellinger. That's just something we'll focus on another live and talk about. But, it's interesting. It all boils down to Pete Alonso. I don't really see a path where you can get both of them. That could be, something where you could see that, but I don't see that happening. It probably would be one or the other. But Pete, yeah, you heard his comments this week. It's on Stearns and Cohen to pay him. He wants to play till he's 40 years old. This guy's built like a house of bricks. I think he can. Yeah, well, I hear you. But yeah, guys, whether you believe this is a playoff team or not, at this point, it's August 14th. Like, I want to see how this season continues to roll. It could roll south 100%. I hear you. I get it, but it's not looking good right now. That's for sure.
Or if the baseball fortune finally turns around, then maybe We get hot for 2 months and we ride it to the World Series. The only thing I could think of, usually things even out eventually. I keep saying, in my mind, this team is way too talented to be where they're at right now. And that's why. And Dan, maybe you disagree. If you guys agree this team's way too talented, was supposed to be competing for a World Series and misses the playoffs, which, may I remind you, almost like half the league makes it. 12 teams out of 30. And you missed the playoffs?
It's crazy.
Major moves got to be made. Mendoza's got to be the first one to go if that happens. But that
07 type collapse.
We'll talk, bro. This is one of the worst collapses I've ever seen. I know it's happening early, so it's hard to say. But if this continues on this path, as think of the Nationals took care of the Phillies, you gotta capitalize on that.
Yep.
But that's all we got for you guys today. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Give us a follow over on X. Follow us, Dan. Give us a follow on Instagram if you can. But we're here pretty much every single night. We always finish off regardless. Let's go.
Let's go Mets, guys.
Peace out.